Teachers of Reddit, what are some of the weirdest things you've confiscated from a student? A sugar glider. Kept hearing a high-pitched squeak in class. Noticed she had a small animal in her jacket pocket when it decided to poke its head out. A student brought one of these to my class. I teach college, so that was fine, and I was super excited, and she let me hold it. The students were busy doing some group work, and when they were just about done, I went to hand it back to her. It then proceeded to leap down the front of my shirt and attach itself to my bra. So now I'm supposed to be lecturing again, but this girl's sugar glider is not only sitting in my cleavage, but running around under my shirt. More than half the class had no idea why I was distracted, or why I shoved my hand down between my boobs until I finally got the little guy out. The following year, a different student's hedgehog peed on me. What kind of college do you work at? I only ever saw puppers in class. It's a state university. It's my classroom. If somebody mentions that they have a sugar glider or a therapy hedgehog, you bet your ass I'm going to tell them to bring it in. A little orange lizard in a box with a Charizard Pokemon card taped to it. To the box or the lizard? To the box. A vitamin B12 vape pen. Didn't know they existed. It was a 9-year-old. In class. A homemade arrow made with a pencil and a modified razor blade. Was this in prison? Nope. High school in Averagetown, USA. My father took a cleaver off a student. My dad was doing lunch duty and saw the kid open his jacket and motion his buddies to have a look. Turns out there was going to be a fight after school. My dad knew the kid and asked him to step into the hallway. He got the cleaver off the kid and took him to the office. I'm not sure what his punishment was, but pre-Columbine, so who knows. In 7th grade, I accidentally brought a hunting knife to school. I'd been playing with it at home, flipping it and trying to catch it by the handle. I was doing this while it was fastened in a sheath, so no danger or anything. Well, I missed and dropped it. Couldn't find where it went and figured I'd just find it later. Well, I forgot about it. Fast forward about a week. It's the end of the day and I'm cleaning out my backpack at school. Found the knife at the bottom of the bag. Yeah, I'd been carrying the thing to and from school for a week and didn't know. I just shoved it back into the bag before anyone saw and then took it out once I got home. So lucky I didn't get caught with it. Not confiscated, but actually given as a gift. A bag of her hair. A bag of every strand of hair she's had cut since birth. That's probably the oddest one here, honestly. It was definitely the weirdest thing I've ever received as a gift. She was so excited about it too. I knew the mom well, so I messaged her asking if she had meant to give that to me. Apparently, she had stolen it from her keepsake box. I happily returned it. Not gagging over it was the hardest thing ever, especially because I was newly pregnant and had awful morning sickness. In music class, this kid Oliver pulls out a Matchbox car and starts playing. Teacher takes it, turns around, places it on piano, turns back. He's already gotten the next one out of his pocket, and it back to playing. So she took it again. Rinse, repeat. Funniest shit ever to an 8-year-old, we laughed so fucking hard. The naked lady booby lighter. Kid was 7th or 8th grade in an alternative school setting. He was always sneaking stuff in his pockets and getting it taken up. We are walking to lunch and my assistant stops suddenly. He comes back with a metal naked woman torso in his hand. You could press one boob and the flame came out of the other. It was fantastic. It was super popular in the office for the few days until Mom came to pick it up. She was really glad to get family heirloom back. A white lacy thong from a kindergartner. She was wearing it on her head. Not a teacher, but a kid brought a human skull to school. I think the teacher just had a conversation with him about it. Edit to answer some questions. The skull was real. The kid was a baddie. His folks were more likely meth cooks than doctors. It didn't get donated. The school in question was near a rural mountain area where a lot of people lived who wanted to be left alone. The provenance of the skull was, at the most conservative, dubious. I had to confiscate a 7th grader's iPad because he was looking up anime girl body pillows. A taxidermied kookaburra. She taught herself how to do it from books. It was not done well. Edit, just to clarify, apparently it was dead, having been hit by a car, when she found it. Not a confiscation, but when my 4 or 5-year-olds were getting changed for P. a little girl opened her bag and out fell a bunch of very sexy lingerie. 10 minutes later at the window I have a very red mum with the correct kit in hand saying she mixed up the dry cleaning with the daughter's P.E. kit. I pretended I hadn't seen. I taught English in South Korea for a year. One time I caught a kid doing the old comic book inside a textbook routine. I was surprised. I didn't know kids did that. After laughing, I confiscated his comic book. In grade school, I had two really close friends named Juan and Nick. The three of us were really close and bonded of our shared nerdy interests of reading, Star Wars, and The Simpsons. We also really enjoyed drawing. I don't remember how it started exactly, but we ended up making this notebook that we passed back and forth between us. It was a comic about a guy named Tom and his cat. We would each take turns doing a strip of a few panels and then hand it over. The comic was about the everyday life of Tom, and it was extremely mundane. It was things like Tom tries to decide on a shirt, or Tom dropped the cat food on the floor. It was really dumb stuff, but the three of us found it so hilarious because we were weird kids. One day our teacher caught us with the notebook and confiscated it from us. She never said a word about it, but I'd bet when she looked through that thing she probably thought it was the weirdest fucking thing ever, especially since we were laughing hysterically at it when she took it from us. This is my favorite one, so weirdly boring but kind of brilliant. When I was in school, my English teacher confiscated 50 Shades of Grey off another pupil during our silent reading time. We would have been in year 7 or 8 at the time. My classmate, who was the dumbass class clown, tried to kick off about it and asked the teacher why it being taken away, and the teacher calmly said, "I'm not letting you read that. It's terribly written. It's as if it's been written by someone on a train." Similar thing occurred in my year 9 English class. Girl came in and started reading 50 Shades for silent reading. My teacher noticed and straight up said, "Emma, you can sit outside and read that." Emma then argues why, and teacher responds, "I wouldn't wipe my arse with that book, let alone allow that poorly written filth enter my class." Emma ended up reading it on the front step of the classroom, in the heat of Australian summer. She sure had tenacity, I'll give her that. That English teacher was hilarious, and a great teacher as well. A Ziploc bag of pink Crayola crayons that he sliced perfectly into small discs with a razor blade. He was trying to market them in the hallways as hallucinogenic pills. I teach little ones, so nothing nearly as risque as some of the others in this thread. I've confiscated handcuffs, a wrench, baby bottles, and a variety of bugs and small animals the kiddos caught out at recess. A colleague confiscated an adult movie from a 5-year-old. The kid didn't know what it was, didn't even know that it was a videotape, or anything about it. It just looked cool, the tape itself. He didn't know of the content. It wasn't exactly a confiscation. Some of my students thought it would be a good idea to bring me 2 chickens. 2 live chickens. They knew my daughter had a pet duck that had recently died, so this was their idea to help us get past the grief. I had to keep them in a carrier in my classroom closet in the dark just so they would be quiet. The chickens, not the kids. By the end of the day, I found a kid with a grandmother that had a farm. When teaching pre-K, I had to confiscate a grenade. There was very serious confusion and terror when I saw him, and told my aide that Timmy is holding a grenade. No, not a toy. "Timmy, name confidential, what do you have there, buddy?" He tells me excitedly that it's a grenade. I asked him where he got it, and he said he found it in the trees by his house. You know, as you do in Midwest America. Just find grenades in the trees. I made him give it to me immediately. It turned out to be hollowed out, and I believe it was a World War II pineapple grenade. His mom called maybe 4 hours later to tell us, hey, I forgot to mention Timmy wanted to bring his grenade to school. Y'all can just put it in his cubby. She also explained that he just found it. I still can't believe that happened. How do you just find a grenade? Why do you let your child bring it to school? So many other questions. I had to confiscate an 11th grader's laptop because she was going to, mature-themed chat rooms during class. Specifically ones for married men looking to chat with young girls. Yeah. Then, after she wasn't allowed to bring her laptop or phone to school anymore, she later got banned from school Chromebooks for doing it again. She was not very bright. My history teacher brought a live goat to school on multiple occasions and would keep it in the bottom drawer of a filing cabinet. Unrelated to the thread but 100% true. A live white kitten. They had brought it in to give to their friend. The friends' parents had no idea and did not want a cat. These kids were 12 and 14, so I don't know where their common sense was. The cat was safely retrieved and went home with the principal for his son. Not a teacher, but my cousin is, and she had to take a Ziploc bag full of vodka-soaked gummy bears from some freshman. Nothing like getting drunk at 8 in the morning. Not sure she was supposed to eat them after confiscating them. A turtle, she had stolen it from the biology teacher's room and had it in the bathroom sink. Not a teacher, but someone who helps 5th graders adapting to their new school. We usually are a team of 5 or 6 older pupils who look after one class. Anyways, one day one of these kids wasn't paying attention to us and constantly playing with something under his desk. I then took it, and it was 2 phones tied together back to back with rubber bands. To this day, I don't know what this construction was for. Do you have a similar story? Leave a comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this one.